History of Punjab according to Greek historians. Alexander's itinerary as preserved by the ancient Greek historians gives a fairly clear idea of the character of the peoples inhabiting Gandhara, the West Punjab, Sindh and Balochistan regions. They even endeavour to describe the conditions of certain unnamed peoples living further east. Though claimed to have been based on the writings of generals who participated in Alexander's campaigns, the account is evidently biased in favour of the Greek. Still, it throws light on the political and economic conditions prevailing in those times. Alexander found the north-west Jndia divided into a large number of states. Some were monarchical and occupied the northern Punjab. These states lay between the rivers Ravi and Indus. Their southern boundary roughly coincided with the 3.5-degree longitude. The districts Punchh and Amb were included in the monarchical system of the Punjab. The other states were republican in character and occupied the rest of the West Punjab as well as Sindh and Afghanistan. Even East Punjab, which Alexander did not penetrate, was under Janapadas. The Greeks were highly impressed with the well-built tall and handsome figures of the Punjabis of those days. Alexander reduced most of the republics to submission and transferred the authority to the one or the other of the northern monarchies. But his arrangements were short-lived. As soon as he turned his back, these monarchies, or rather the satrapies, that he had created, were wiped out by Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya. The assertions of Alexander historians to the effect that Alexander annihilated many of the tribes should be rejected outright. Some of them are known to have maintained their existence through the stresses and strains of subsequent centuries. Long after Alexander and his successors disappeared into the wombs of history, they continued to enjoy various degrees of autonomy under the suzerainty of benevolent Indian emperors. Under the pressure of foreign invasions, they sometimes had to give up old homes and seek pastures now. But wherever they settled, they kept the flame of independence burning. Under such pressure, it sometimes happened that the neighboring tribes were wielded into larger ones, the smaller ones completely losing their identity in the process, so that in later times some of the tribes of 4th century B.C. are not heard of again. The prominent ones among them, however, find mention even as late as the 4th century AD in the Prayagri, Prasasti of Samudragupta. Some can be recognized in the present-day castes of the Punjabis. In the spring of 326 B.C., Alexander crossed the Indus at a place now called Mohan, about 16 miles away. Simple type of uninscribed coins appear to date since Maurya period were discovered from this region. D.R. Bhandarkar has shown that Nagma or Nagma must be taken to mean township and the body of townsmen, in which sense this word occurs in the Vivadaratnakra and other works on Hindu law. The 5 names occurring on the reverse of these coins must be the names of the 5 towns which issued them, namely Talimta or Ralimta, Dojka, Atkata and 2 others whose names are only partially legible. Atkatka probably stands for the existing town of Attock. Dr. Marshall conjectures that these 5 townships joined together in issuing the Panknekmi coins. Taxila was not one of them, since it does not figure in any of the legends. If Nagma meant a Mofassil town as distinguished from the capital city or Pura these Nagma coins must have been issued by certain of the lesser towns in the Sindh Sagar and Doa, and accepted as legal tender at Taxila. Notwithstanding the fact that the after city was issuing a copper coinage of its own. Dr. Marshall further believes that after severing connection with Magad, Taxila and other cities of the Taxilan kingdom between the Indus and the Jhelum rivers had formed some sort of confederacy of republican states under the leadership of Taxila.